Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor Beta. My name is Necroxis, and before we begin we need to have story time because right now I'm on a level 100 human female warlock who does not look like the character you saw last episode. Basically what happened, I am recording this episode right now on Saturday morning, and ultimately, or basically what happened was Wednesday night, Blizzard was like, look, we're pushing out a new build to the beta. We're not going to be really adding anything new, but we're going to be fixing a lot of stuff. As such, as a contingent of doing this, we need to wipe the beta. So I was like, okay, great. So the character that you saw last episode is gone. She got wiped. So I made a new character, which you're going to see next episode. It's a little complicated. I just want to explain it because I know I'm inevitably going to get the comments. They're like, Necroxis, what's happening? The new character I made was a female Worgen warlock. I leveled, and this happened Wednesday night. The servers really weren't up until like Thursday morning at like 2 a.m. The second that they were, I busted my ass leveling up, and I got to level 97 and a half within 1 day, 24-hour period, because I was like, look, I don't want my followers or my subscribers to not get an episode. Because, you know, I would feel bad because I don't like to cut episodes in half or like in the middle when I'm doing them. So basically what happened was I started making, I recorded the, this episode that we're going to do right now, which is Admiral Taylor. I recorded it, and when I was editing it, somehow there were a couple of files that I still had left around from the Gorgrond new content they added, which you'll see later on. You know, you haven't seen it yet. Somehow that got added onto that file, and it got rendered with it and made it into really a disjointed video because the video started out like halfway through the Gorgrond scenario and then went right into here. So I was going to edit it, and I don't know, somewhere in like that process, I ended up deleting the entire file. And I had lost the raw files, so I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to level up a whole nother character just to record fucking Admiral Taylor. But, fortunately, I remembered that Blizzard has level 100 servers, so I made a level 100 character, and here I am. So that's basically the story. I'm sorry you had to sit through that, because I'm sure most of you don't give a shit. But I just want to let you know, if anyone has ever says, and then no one has actually said this before, but if anyone ever says Necroxis doesn't care about his subscribers, punch him in the face, because I leveled a character to 97.5 in a day, lost the footage, and then remade another character, leveled through the beginning of the zone, just to get here, just so I could show you this. So, last episode, we did Clutch Pop Gearworks stuff, and today we're doing Admiral Taylor. We got sent to his garrison. When we get here and there's ghosts and stuff, it's obviously not correct. I can tell you right now, I've already done the entirety of this, so I'm not going to be surprised. I'm mostly doing it for you guys, because I've had several people talk about, like, Necroxis, what are your thoughts about Admiral Taylor? So here we go. We're talking to Jasper Fell, and he says, what in the king's name has happened here? They're ghosts, all of them. Brian was one of my best friends. Something is clouding his mind. We need to snap him out of it and get to the bottom of this. He was always obsessed with his work. Maybe showing him one of his schematics would help. One of the spectral laborers might have one. So Brian is obviously this guy right here. So we get to Admiral Taylor's garrison. They're all ghosts. Some are hostile, some are not. We have to kill him. This will go a little easier because I'm actually level 100 than my actual first recording did because I was only 97. And as such, you won't get all of me bitching about stupid irrelevant shit that you got on that video. At least in terms of the leveling. You'll still get it when I talk about Admiral Taylor at the end of this. Stop being incorporeal, bitch. Jeez. Need to get the plans. No plans. Alright. First time I did this, they dropped from the very first mob, so I don't know what's up. Might have got lucky. Nope. And since I am level 100, I do have access to my level 100 talents. I took Demonic Servitude, because off camera I played him on this. Oh no, you guys did see me play with Charred Remains. Before they boosted everything, before they boosted the beta to 90. Did I get the things? No, I didn't. I had this before, yeah. So you guys saw me use Charred Remains on my one character. I don't really like it. They've also nerfed it some more. They put the percentage of Embers gained from 300% to 200%. I personally, with how overpowered other people are saying it is. Also, I don't have the schematic yet. Are you serious? Anyway, with how overpowered people have been saying it is, even though I don't like that playstyle, I don't know if Blizzard will actually keep it in the game. So I'm going with this one, because I get to use my Doomguard 24/7, which is pretty cool. I also would like to try Cataclysm at some point. I think I'll do that during this quest chain. I have never used Cataclysm before. It didn't seem good when they were showing it off because I didn't have any context to the number switch. So I was like, 27,000, that doesn't sound like anything. Don't I have thingy so I can undo this? I guess it's bugged, whatever. Well, not, I guess we'll figure it out later. So, we got the schematic. We have to show it to Brian Finn, who says, "Where did all my workers go? They'll be working overtime to finish this." Show him the schematic. What happened? Where am I? Jasper, is that you? I'd recognize one of my schematics anywhere. Thank you, friend. I don't know what happened. My crew and I must have been the first to fall. My wife, the innkeeper, is in the same stupor you found me in. I can feel it, and there are others with her. Please, give the townfolk peace and show their essences to my wife. That should bring her back from that cold abyss.
Light bless you.
That is a very weird way to describe it. Kill the ghosts, take their essences, and show them to my wife. Once she sees their essences, she will know who she once was. Okay. Whatever you say, crazy ghost man. So basically it's just kill these dudes and get 6 goops. Pile of goops. Spectral essence. And then I have to show it to his wife. Alright, I got my 6 essences, and now we just need to go inside the inn, which is actually the same inn model that's used in the garrison. And it's pretty cool. I'm digging it. I really like the updatedness, how everything is updated. The lady's in here. Here she is.
Step on up.
She doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence, but I'll show her the spectral essences.
Safe travels.
The Doomguard is huge and blocking the view. Who are you? Where's Brian?
Looking for something specific?
Everything's so hazy. What happened? Who are you? We're dead? A piece of the puzzle. I remember now. Watch Commander Branson told us to stay in the inn. He said we would be safe there. Then that thing broke in and slaughtered everyone. The last thing I remembered was seeing it descending into the larder. Kill the horrific aberration in the basement of the inn. So, story thus far. Get to Admiral Taylor's garrison. There are ghosts everywhere. Everybody appears to be dead. Something about being told to stay in here by the commander, who then everyone starts dying. But we turned out that the commander actually is the skeleton we have to kill, based on his name. And he says, "The villagers were easy. You're next." What a dick, am I right? Don't call spirits. That's not... Oh, well, I can't interrupt that, apparently. You will not interrupt the master's plans. Yeah, I will, because you're dead. I was promised eternal life. I still, this is still very intriguing, but also kind of, I'm not sure about. You'll hear my thoughts when I'm done. She says, is it dead?
You need something?
I will convince the others of our fate. There's no denying it anymore.
Have a good one.
Second in command. Wait, I remember something else. Sir Harris, he was shouting, looking for someone. I can't remember who. There were so many screams.
See you later.
Speak to Sir Harris at Admiral Taylor's garrison. So, the Watch Commander was in on what appears to be now an inside job to have done this. Now we're getting to renegade ghosts as we progress further in, and complicit guards. So it seems, as we're going to find out in a second, as you could tell based on the names of the NPCs, there was apparently some kind of sabotage from within by somebody for some reason to kill all of the people here. But we don't know why. Damn it, I fucking shadow bolted her when she was doing her damage reduction. And I'm gonna have to kill this one because it's gonna aggro when I walk up. I brought this up in the first time I recorded this, but I am kind of annoyed that Admiral Taylor... I actually don't remember when I brought this up, but I did at some point. I'm kind of annoyed Admiral Taylor has his own garrison and that we didn't know about it until we get the quest to go there. I'm not happy with that. That lady has a gigantic fucking Gatling gun and a one-handed weapon. Also,
quit it.
You're getting on my nerves. What's your problem? You're getting on my nerves. I'm kind of busy.
That sounds like a unique voice, and I don't know why.
Quit it.
Maybe it's because I don't have a lot of female... I don't actually have any female human characters, but I've had one before. I don't remember the voice sounding like that. I don't know.
What's your problem?
Alright, here's Sir Harris. If today was any other day, I'd have you court-martialed for being out of uniform. Guy, I think you're confused. Punishable by death, traitors to lot. You're looking at the last bastion of forces still loyal to Admiral Taylor and the Alliance. I'll be damned if the defectors get away clean. You look like you're ready. Show them how we deal with their kind during times of war.
Be careful.
Kill 8 traitors.
I'm kind of busy.
The armory is lost to the traitors. All we have left are these few cannons with no ammunition. Soldier, I need you to recover the cannonballs so we can get these running. Actually, one more cannon wouldn't hurt either.
Be careful.
Recover 10 cannonballs and get 1 armory cannon. So it seems to be, even though the ghosts are confused, there seems to have been some kind of traitorous group who abandoned their mission and rose up and took over part of the garrison, I guess. So my thing is, though, if these people were all in on this to kill everybody, why would they themselves be dead? Because there's no way... What the fuck? I saw explosions from here. Why would they... Surely they wouldn't try to kill themselves if they wanted to rebel. That would make no sense. I hate these stupid damage buffs that are defensive buffs they give themselves, which is just like, whoa. Whoa. Phasing issue. We're fighting in the grass now. This is the Forge Master, who is also dead. Coerced villager. Cool. So we gotta get the cannon in here. Stupid knockbacks. Also, for those of you who play Warlocks, if I can actually get up this before it phases out again. Cool. Oh, damn it. Come on. Pile of cannonballs. Yay, we got 5. They got rid of Drain Life for Destruction Warlocks. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. I guess they decided just to try to stop balancing it with Embers. And now instead of getting it for Destruction, we instead get this talent. Ember Tap causes 50% more healing and costs 50% fewer burning embers, which is amazing because if you can see from the tooltip, my burning ember heals 54.78% of my total health over 10 seconds. So I got, not only did I take the talent, I also took the glyph, which heals me for 5% additional more, but that health is given over 10 seconds. So I get the 49-ish% immediately, and then the rest I get over 10 seconds, which is pretty cool. So here's a rare spawn, what's his name? Dumberlin. He is apparently the Executioner. So we just need to get one more cannonball, which I can actually get right now. Because why not? And then I gotta find... Oh, he's ethereal. Where's the cannon? Oh, it's over there. Doomguard has this really cool banish ability. It roots the target in place just for 30 seconds. 4 in PvP, but still. It looks pretty cool. It looks like Banish plus Shackle Undead plus like a channeled ability. A stupid immunity thing. Okay, let's just take this. We gotta... I'm glad he counts as one of the undead slain. This part of the quest I felt has been the most tedious. Just this little tiny part, because there are just lots of mobs everywhere, which I've brought up before. I'm not exactly happy with how cramped Warlords of Draenor is. Like, Spooky Scythe is spooky. Kill one more, and then we'll be done with this. But yeah, I feel like Wrath of the Lich King had a really good balance between like spacing things out, but also not feeling too spaced out. Because I feel like definitely Warlords is too spaced in too close, I guess. Lady Claudia. I hope you're toting a cannon and some balls, soldier. Yes, I am. Good job.
Farewell.
Cool.
What can I do for you?
Well fought for the Alliance.
For the Alliance.
She says, I remember. He says, we need to help Taylor.
Quit it.
Admiral Taylor has figured out who's behind all this. He wanted to save us, he told us to save who he could. He wanted to handle matters himself. We never heard from him again, but we have our orders. Please find him. He went towards the farm.
Have a good one.
We're finally going to find Admiral Taylor. Which the farm is this way. Tried to avoid that guard, but I heard him aggro. So here's Admiral Taylor's. He's at the farm, which it explicably has like this random shit here for some reason. He says, Hero, help me down from here. We don't have much time. His dead body's there. His spirit's here. Afiel betrayed me. He slaughtered my men and turned them against... You have heart, Taylor. I'll give you that. And then a random necromancer. I suppose there's not much point in disguises anymore. Now, Admiral, it is time to finish what I started. There's the bodies of some of the NPCs we saw. Alice Finn's right there. Brian Finn's right there. I believe we see the other two somewhere. Lady Claudia's there. And then the last guy is up here somewhere. I saw him. Whatever. Well, they're all here. And then, not only did we get Surprise Necromancer, we get... Surprise Lord Marigar! Named Soul Scythe. Afiel says, rise and carry out my will. Soul Scythe, I will tear you and your garrison apart. You ain't gonna do shit because you're dying right now, bitch. This fight's extremely boring because the mob does nothing. At least when I first fought him on my other playthrough, or my other recording, he did absolutely zero abilities. Just hit me, take and spank. A soldier's duty is never done. So this is actually Admiral Taylor. I didn't understand this. This is like Admiral Taylor's body still, with all the other bodies, plus his soul. So it's like that is. We're fighting Admiral Taylor right now. He's just as Lord Marigar, or a wannabe version of it. Hopefully we don't disconnect and that's just lag. It is. So we're almost finished with this punk. And he's dead. Your time will come. Afiel says, very well, I'll finish you myself. And I feel like this is kind of a tough challenge when you're at 70 or 97, if you're not in like previous Mists of Pandaria heroic gear, because you fight the guy who, I mean, he doesn't do a lot, but he does enough damage. You saw I had to heal myself, and I'm level 100, and then you immediately have to fight this guy. I turned Admiral Taylor's followers against him. Perhaps I shall pay your garrison a visit next. So he's the one that incited the rebellion, I guess. Why? I don't, who knows? But he did. The Dark One promised me so much if I succeeded. And then we turn the question.
Good to see you, friend.
From one commander to another, thank you. We've been through a lot together, haven't we, Necroxis? Vashir, the Jade Forest, Lion's Landing. I am truly honored I could end my journey by your side.
The soldier's duty is never done.
And Jasper fell. Commander, are you alright?
Hey there.
He says, by the light, I can't believe what happened to Taylor and his men when they had a full garrison. It's going to take everything we have to keep your outpost safe, Commander. We should get out of here. We can honor the fallen when we're safe.
See you later.
I'll guide Admiral Taylor back to camp. See you there. So here's my big problem with this, now that we've basically finished it. None of this makes any sense. Necromancer doesn't make sense. The Lord Marigar ripoff makes no sense. The Dark One he's talking about makes no sense. The random... I don't know what faction he could be tied to. But just based on him being a necromancer, my first thought is immediately... I'm gonna get dazed by something. My first thought is immediately the Scourge. but the Scourge makes absolutely no sense. And mainly because by the time Cataclysm is over, the Scourge is almost, of course, the Scourge is basically completely defeated. At least on the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. Now, people are going to be like, but Necroxis, the Scourge are innumerable. They can never be defeated. I call bullshit on that. And my reason is, in Cataclysm, they very, very much imply that the only 3 strongholds left that the Scourge hold in the Eastern Kingdoms, and in Kalimdor, they don't hold, like, any position anymore. I guess Razorfen Crawl is, like, the only position that they hold, and you beat them when you do that. The 3 positions on Eastern Kingdom that they still hold sway in are A. Andorhal, B. Scholomance, and C. 1/2 of Stratholme, because the other half of Stratholme is controlled by Balnazar and his Risen. And in all 3 of those places, the Scourge is roundly defeated after you do those storylines. Andorhal is taken by the Horde and the Alliance, and then ultimately, of course, taken by Forsaken and Sylvanas. Scholomance gets defeated when Lillian Voss wrecks their shit. And finally, Stratholme, that half, gets beaten by the Argent Crusade's champions, which is us. So there is no significant stronghold left for the Scourge. So it makes no sense that the Scourge would randomly send a Cult of the Damned Necromancer to fuck over Admiral Taylor. That is too many assumptions for me to make. Or I guess, what's the phrase I'm looking for? I'm having a hard time. It's blanking. Too many suspensions of disbelief for me to think that's what that could be. So I don't know who else it could be. Let me just turn this in and we'll continue talking. We will never forget Admiral Taylor's sacrifices for the greater good.
For the Alliance.
And then Admiral Taylor...
The Alliance shall prevail.
He doesn't do it on my level 100 character. That's probably because it's messed up. But on the actual leveling, Admiral Taylor becomes a follower of yours. And he actually, for some reason, decides to stay around. There is no reason given when he says this. He's just basically like, we will take the fight to the orc scum together, Necroxis. We've been through a lot. One commander to another. Let's continue fighting side by side. And so he becomes a follower. As you can see, I don't know if I could actually show you on this. I can't. I have to be back on my garrison. So that's basically the Admiral Taylor storyline. So I already explained why I think the Scourge makes no sense. So I don't know who the Dark One could be that the Necromancer is talking about right here. The Dark One promised me so much if I succeeded. The only 3 people that could make any remote sense is A. Sargeras, B. Kil'jaeden, or C. Gul'dan. Some people might say D. Kel'Thuzad. I've seen fan theories about that. That also makes no sense because A. he's part of the Scourge. I already explained why the Scourge basically is defeated. And B. he's dead. I know that they went through that loophole when they brought back Naxxramas by saying, oh, you know, we never destroyed the phylactery. And they tried to play it off with that quest where in Vanilla in Original Nax, when you turn in the phylactery to the guy, he doesn't destroy it. He actually becomes a lich himself. This time, I don't think they're going to do that. If they do it again, it'll be supremely lazy storytelling. But even, let's say that they did. Why would Kel'Thuzad decide, instead of doing some other thing to try and shore up the Scourge's power, why would he fuck over Admiral Taylor on Draenor instead of trying to reclaim or just reinforce what little the Scourge had left in our world? Like, that makes no sense. So, the only 3, like I said, Sargeras, Kil'jaeden, Gul'dan. All 3 of them have necromantic magics connected to them. Sargeras, because he's a Titan, and he basically has everything under his control. He can pretty much have any type of magic they want, based on the nature of the Titans and how absurd that they are. Kil'jaeden, he has necromantic magics and connections. He's the one who created the first Lich King. Gul'dan, he has necromantic magics. He created the Death Knights, the first version of them. Also, there's a little thing of Taylor here, statue, that reads, in honor of Admiral Taylor. Admiral Taylor was a true hero of the Alliance. His numerous accomplishments on the battlefield serving his people will not be forgotten. He bravely set out to establish his garrison stronghold among the Spires to further the Draenor campaign, but was cut down by his own men before his time. May he rest in peace. So, I don't know if there is a connection to those 3 people. Even if there is, that still seems like a giant stretch. They definitely need to explain what the hell is going on here, because it makes absolutely no sense. I don't know who the Dark One could possibly be. If I want to throw out just random crazy theories, it could maybe be like Medivh from this universe's version of Draenor that for some reason wants to screw over the Alliance, but even that makes no sense. I can't think of I can't think of a logical story thread for them to do that. So that's the one aspect. Let me talk about the other aspect that I don't like about this, because if you haven't figured out from my just last 5 minutes. By the way, if you don't want to hear my thoughts on this, the video's over, so you can turn it off if you want. The quest chain's over. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the Arakoa stuff, continuing on with that. So just if you don't want to listen to me complaining about this, and you know, I wouldn't blame you. You can turn the video off. It's safe to turn off. So thanks for watching if you're turning off right now. But the second issue I have with this is Admiral Taylor himself dying. Now, I'm of two minds about this, and both minds aren't that. Neither mind about this issue that I have is that I like Admiral Taylor, because I don't. I think Admiral Taylor is a boring character. I don't think he even is a character. I think he's just a shallow plot character who does nothing but barely furthers the plot. He's basically like, for fans of Legend of Korra, he's basically like Vol'jin. He has no actual character to himself. He's a shell. He sometimes is there to barely progress the plot, and otherwise does absolutely nothing else. Just because he shows up in Vashir and then shows up in Miss Pandaria 3-4 times, just because he does that doesn't make him important. It just means they used him to show up and make it seem like the story is one continuous thing, which it is, and I guess in that regard, he's successful. But in every single other regard as a character, Admiral Taylor is terrible. He has no really unique personality. He never has done anything interesting. He has basically served as a more boring version of General Nazgrim, which is exactly what he is. And my problem is I don't... so, getting back to my two issues I have about him, the first is I don't really care that he's dead. I mean, I at least in the sense of I don't care that that character will now be gone. Well, I guess not, because he's a fucking ghost for some reason. It's not... I care that he's dead, but not from the sense that, oh no, the character's gone. Like, for example, who's someone that I really like in the Alliance? I don't know. I guess let's just make it generic. If Varian died, I'd be like, oh fuck, Varian's dead, because even though a lot of people don't like him, I like Varian. I would be upset if Varian was gone. I'm not upset that Admiral Taylor's gone, so that's the first part. Secondly, I feel like they just killed him off, and I have no evidence supporting this whatsoever, by the way. I feel like they just killed him off because Nazgrim's dead. He died in the last expansion, obviously, in the raid. And I feel like they thought, oh, Taylor is the mirror version of Nazgrim for the Alliance, and now Nazgrim's dead, so what do we do with Taylor? We kill Taylor off, because... And they do it in the most ridiculous way possible. You never hear about Admiral Taylor whatsoever this whole expansion until you get to the Spires of Arak, and then they go, oh, by the way, Admiral Taylor has apparently been here the entire time, since just after you arrived, and he's made his own garrison, and it got attacked. Like, I think I'd have a little bit less of a problem with this if they would have addressed Admiral Taylor at all, at any point up to this. Because, dudes, we're at the literal second-to-last zone in this expansion. Like, do you understand? We only have Negrand left to go, and then that's it for 6.0. He's totally ignored until, like, halfway through the second-to-last zone of the expansion. Were they just running out of things to do, and they were like, oh, Admiral Taylor's a guy, and we need to kill him off because Nazgrim's dead. Fuck it, let's throw him in there. Do we have to explain it? Pfft, nah, who cares? No one's paying attention. Well, I am. And I don't like it. I don't understand. And I feel like when Nazgrim died... Here's my problem. When Taylor died, he didn't die doing anything. Like, maybe if he would have done something and then died, I would have cared about it. Maybe if... Let's just cut out the whole Necromancer thing, because that fucking makes no sense. Instead, maybe let's put in the Arakoa or the Shattered Hand, who we're actually dealing with in this zone. Maybe... Of course, they would also have to bring up that Admiral Taylor came through at some point. They don't even have to make it a big deal. They can just mention it in passing, in some passing quest. Like, maybe after you set up your garrison and you do Shadow Moon Valley, after you get sent to Gorgrond, Yrel says something about, oh, Admiral Taylor, or Murad, I guess it would make more sense, because he would know Admiral Taylor. Oh, Admiral Taylor came through, but while we're going to Gorgrond, he went to Spires of Arak. And then we cut to when we finally see what's happening. So, I think that would make more sense. Make the issue that destroyed the garrison Make it either the Arakoa or the Shattered Hand. Why? The Necromancer makes no sense. So if it's the Shattered Hand, it would give us more of a reason to hate Kargath Bladefist and the Shattered Hand. If it was the purebred Arakoa, it would give us a further example to show how dangerous they are. But you also have to couple with him having to do something before he dies. Maybe he weakens Kargath Bladefist somehow if we're going with the Shattered Hand, because I don't expect him to kill him. Maybe he weakens some power structure that the Shattered Hand has. Maybe he does something to the Arakoa that makes them weaken, but then he ends up dying. Then he would actually be semi-important. But up to this point, he's not referenced whatsoever, and then we find out halfway through the second to last zone that he's here, but when we go to see him, he's already dead and was betrayed by random Necromancer, which makes no sense. So that's basically my thoughts about not General Nazgrim, Admiral Taylor. And I guess the final thought is, I cared when General Nazgrim died because he was an actual interesting character. And Taylor wasn't. So when Taylor died, I didn't care. But for Nazgrim, he actually was interesting. He had a personality. He had like his own little mini story going on. You know, he rose through the ranks. He was in Grizzly Hills. He was in Wrath of the Lich King. And then he gets promoted again in Cataclysm. And then he gets promoted again in Mists of Pandaria, and to the point that he's actually leading the armies of Garrosh and the Horde. He's the leader of the army. And I really always found it fascinating that his story was kind of, and this is something a lot of people are upset that he got killed, and I actually thought it was perfect, and I was happy that he died, because I felt like that character went as far as it could go. And this, again, with Taylor, I don't feel that way because he never even went anywhere to begin with. But with Nazgrim, I felt that he went as far as he could go. Because the story with him, it's not too complicated, but I still really liked it. It was, look, what happens to a character who is loyal to a group of people or a faction? What happens to that character when the people that he is loyal to end up going completely off the deep end? What happens? What does General Nazgrim do or react? How does he react when the group that he's been loyal to for presumably most of his life at this point now, what happens when they go completely insane? What happens when Garrosh goes fucking bonkers and off the deep end? And what happens is General Nazgrim sticks around. He doesn't join the defectors because in his mind, and this is never really outright stated, but it's kind of implied by the Timeless Vision quest. I think it's the first one when you see Thrall and Sarfang going into Orgrimmar and Nazgrim's there and lets him in. And he kind of like tells the guards to look the other way. I think the implication has always been Nazgrim, instead of defecting, it seemed like he tried to stay within the Horde's power structure, because at that point he was at such a high rank, he could maybe try and make so that the Horde, as they were going off the deep end, not go too off the deep end, if that makes sense. Try and at least keep some kind of lockdown on Garrosh while Garrosh was going insane. And now, naturally, we never see any of this. But I would like to think that that is something that character was doing, because when you fight him and you kill him, especially as a Horde character, it very much seems like that's what he was doing. This got like off topic and how much I like General Nazgrim, but my point is, Taylor is no Nazgrim, and his death, the fact that he's actually dead, I don't care about, but I am upset that this is one character where I feel like they just killed off with zero payout, zero payout for his death. At least Murad, they kind of were building him up a little bit as this story was going on. Not a lot, not really enough, and I don't really care that he's dead anyway, but they were at least trying. Taylor, they were just like, oh, he's here and he's dead. Okay, go get him. Go figure out what happened. So that's my thoughts on the Admiral Taylor quest chain. Thanks for watching, everybody. Next time, it's going to be kind of a disjointed because I'm going to be back on my character you haven't seen yet, which, like I explained, is my new female Worgen Warlock. And we are going to be continuing on with the Arakoa quests. And just by the nature of recording, I actually recorded, those 2 episodes are done already. So I can just say the Arakoa storyline in Spires of Arak is fucking awesome. I like it so much. It's getting to a point where I am beginning to think that Spires of Arak's Arakoa storyline is actually overtaking the Shadow Moon Valley one, which, if you guys remember or have watched it, I thought the Shadow Moon Valley one was one of the best storylines they've had in this game thus far. The Arakoa one quickly begins approaching that. So I hope you guys like it as much as I do. And I hope, forgive me if you don't agree with me, I'm sure. Go ahead and flame me in the comments if you think I'm wrong about something. But let me know what you think about this whole Admiral Taylor thing, if you're disappointed in it as much as I am. And how you think they could have done it better. I guess the qualification is, Admiral Taylor has to die. How do you guys think they could do it better? I told you my thing. You know, replace random Necromancer with Kargath Bladefist or the Arakoa. Make him do something significant before he dies. And I think they make it a lot better. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yep, and make sure to stay tuned. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you then. Farewell.